I feel like this video is a little bit long time in the making. Well, not long time in the making. The Leafs have been overall pretty good this year. I'm not going to deny that. But they certainly lately have just kind of struggled. And there's been some warts this entire season. Now, to be fair, it is the National Hockey League, and you're always going to have some teams. When you have a hard cap league, there's going to be just situations where you're going to have holes in your roster, whether it's your offensive depth or your blue line. A lot of teams have. It's what the salary cap is essentially designed to do, right? But for these past 3 games, the Leafs have just really, really, really looked lethargic, in my opinion. The most of all has been William Nylander. He just another dogged effort tonight. I don't know about you guys, but watching him mosey around out there, it reminds me of years ago William Nylander. You know what I mean? 2018 William Nylander, where you just had the coach to constantly get on him, where he was a boy instead of a man. And for the past couple of seasons, we've really been able to watch William Nylander grow into a more mature player, right? He's just been better. He's been a lot more consistent. But I don't know what's going on with him, but these past couple of games, maybe 3, 4, 5 games, he has just not looked himself at all. And this is where Austin Matthews' captaincy is going to make a difference. Now, I know you might say, oh, it's just his captaincy. It's it's symbolic and it doesn't matter. I disagree with that, man. I think that captaincy does matter. I think that he can step up in situations like this, and I do think it matters. I really don't like when people say it's purely symbolic. Your leaders in the dressing room can and will make a difference, and it should make a difference. He was given the captaincy, and he has to show that he is a captain and leading by example with this stuff. With 3 losses to these teams is just simply not good enough. Now, I understand that every team goes on losing streaks. It's not like we were going to, never go on a losing streak ever, or a 3-game losing streak. That's just naturally going to happen. But it's just infuriating watching them dog it out there and just not play up to their capabilities. The Maple Leafs need to change these guys up. They need to put them on different lines. They need 2 separate power play units too. Okay? It's almost like Berube is acting like Sheldon Keefe a little bit, where he just is refusing to make certain changes. Put them on different power plays, man. Completely mix up the power play units. Completely. This is a power play that has been below average. I think right now, I want to say they're 18th in the league or something like that, 19th, something like that. I don't even care. Nick Kyprios likes to say, well, they don't have good passers. And that actually might be fair and true, but you still have to show something more than that. I mean, it's just not good enough. I want to see them on all 3 lines. I want to see Matthews, Marner, and Nylander on 3 lines with more depth. Now, is that going to change everything? Probably not. But the problem is, for a lot of these coaches that coach the Maple Leafs, whether it's been, even a little bit Babcock was like this, it's definitely Sheldon Keefe. It was always just, put the big dogs together, put the big dogs together. You know what I mean? This season is kind of feeling like it did this season's when Keefe was here. Now, I didn't make a video out Mitch Marner's quote. I knew everybody was going to pile on about that, but I'll touch on it now, where, essentially he was like, I thought we had a really good effort. And it's like, how can you possibly thought that you guys have had a good effort? How is that even possible that you thought that? How is that possible? There's no way you actually think that. It's honestly, Marner struggles with this. He struggles with foot in your mouth disease, if you understand what I mean. Even Chris Tanev, this guy's new. It's his first year here, and he's like, and essentially he said, no, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. The effort is unacceptable. That is what you should be talking about from your stars, man. And these guys, they just never say the right thing, and it just sucks that, I don't know about you guys, but, and yes, this team is going to make the playoffs, obviously. I mean, this isn't like they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to, I don't know, we'll see what happens in the playoffs. But it feels a lot like it does with the Keefe era. It really does feel like a lot with the Keefe era, in my opinion. And these guys have to show that this is different. But I guess you could argue, if they don't change the players ever, what can you do? Now, I'm not saying you need to make a stupid trade that doesn't make sense, but it's kind of different because you have a situation where Mitch Marner could have possibly been traded before his no trade clause kicked in, and that would have made a difference. Now you're in a completely different position because you don't have the power in the negotiation. He does, right? He has all of the power right now. So the argument is what choice do the Maple Leafs have? What choice do the Maple Leafs have except just doing whatever the hell he wants? And it's obviously really difficult. Now, I still think the Leafs would make the playoffs. I think obviously they're going to get out of this rut. I mean, if you look at the data over the past 3 games, they've scored 1.33 goals on average. That is not going to return, so that is not going to keep on going. They've scored an average of about 3.14 goals per game. So they're in an offensive rut. I mean, you know what I mean? That's not going to happen. I mean, it's going to normalize. Obviously, their goaltending hasn't been as good. Joseph Wall let up a stinky one tonight. That was, you got to stop that one. But at the end of the day, it's going to normalize, and we're going to be able to see what this team can do in the playoffs. I feel that Berube is, I don't know, it's like every coach in the Maple Leafs, it's almost like they turn into the exact same coach with nothing different. Like, again, this guy he's big time accountability guy. He's big time accountability guy. Now you got to show your big time accountability guy, right? You got to show, like, these guys are still getting like 22 minutes a night. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot. I mean, Nylander got 22 minutes tonight. I'm pretty sure something like that. I mean, geez, that's a lot of minutes to give him. Anyways, I just wanted to touch on this brutal skid from the Leafs, in my opinion. If you guys could like, comment, and subscribe, I would really appreciate that, guys. And make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.